What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to revisit the XL swap idea that I had just a few days ago. That video was unfortunately unsuccessful. Trying to go from a 4.3 NFL Blitz, I guess 4th generation cabinet, to the 1st generation XL Shack Jam behind me just wasn't going to work out. Evidently there were too many issues, but I thought it was worth a try to see if that 4.3 PCB could push an image to a 19-inch 5.4 display. Didn't work out. And some of you in the chat were really, sad, bummed out. Some of you even had some suggestions. One of those suggestions was because of the 5.4, 4.3 difference, the aspect ratio difference, that could have been the biggest factor of not really being able to display the image. I thought that, well, maybe I could have displayed the image, but it would have been cropped, or you would have seen blank lines in the bottom. So I thought that it was definitely worth revisiting, but it was only going to work if I had something with that 4.3, that 5.4 aspect ratio. And I don't have anything like that laying around at all. But then I thought, wait a minute. The 1st and 2nd generation Arcade1ups were 5.4. They had the TN monitors. And I actually have something in mind, and it's right here. This is the 2nd generation Mortal Kombat 2 PCB and control panel. These are left over from my Sega Genesis modification, the Sega Genesis cabinet that I made. I made it out of this cabinet, and I kept this stuff, and seemingly for just such an occasion. So here's the question. Is this going to work? So what you've got is a 2nd generation PCB and control panel, like I said. The speaker is built into the actual control deck. So this is, back in the old days, right? Back in the original days of the original cabinets, and this is the way that they did it back then. A couple things that we're not going to have. We're not going to have, obviously I talked about the audio here, so you're not going to have it overhead. You're also not going to have a source of power for the marquee. So the marquee is not going to come on if this even works at all. Now, if it does work, there are a couple things I've done on this channel to break out the power and the audio to maybe reroute this to the stock location. So if this works, if we get anything kind of result at all, there are ways to kind of overcome some of these limitations and make this a true XL version of whatever 1st/2nd generation PCB you have laying around. But without any further ado, why don't we go ahead and flip the switch. Now, just so you know, all I've done is a PCB swap, and this is loosely placed here on the stock location. I think the holes are actually going to line up, so you could bolt this thing down temporarily. Of course, you've got some things exposed here. It doesn't exactly look finished. But like I said, without further ado, without all that talking, let's just see if this is actually going to work. Power's on. Remember, the volume is going to be off, low and high. Well, I'll be damned. Would you look at that? Isn't that sexy? Isn't that a daisy? 2019 and hook. So just so you know, the proof is in the pudding right there. Audio is actually coming from this little speaker right here. So that is all stock. That's not going to really change. We can break that sound out if we want to. No lit marquee, as I talked about before, but you can definitely tap into the incoming power supply. And unfortunately, it would be on all the time, so you have to have a switch on. But you can see this is filling up the 19-inch monitor perfectly. Aspect ratio is correct. Also, let me turn this volume down. This is the upgraded monitor. I swapped this out. This original TN monitor has been swapped out with the Dell. So this is a beautiful image, a beautiful picture, 19-inch, and basically this is plug and play. So let's say you have this cabinet and you want to try this modification, but you don't have this PCB. Go on eBay, see if you can't find it. It's going to, for the cleanest and simplest and the most pluggest of play, if that makes any sense, you're going to have your control panel also, and that thick ribbon cable. This isn't remember, this is 1st and 2nd generation. But if you have those parts, if you have the PCB, if you have your control panel, if you have that ribbon cable that connects the two, you can absolutely do this. It is a plug and play option. You're going to have some challenges to overcome here. But this is a great experiment. This is a great way to kind of, you know, bridge the gap. You know, we're going to wait for XL versions of this cabinet to come out, but you can technically have it right now if you're a little bit handy, if you got some solutions to kind of cover this up. But if nothing else, if you've got this laying around from other past projects like I had, you can plug this in and you can play right now. Anyway, so let me know what you think about all this in the comments section below. You can definitely do this with Street Fighter. And the question is going to come up now that the Pac-Man XL is, you know, it's out. It's a BOE monitor. It's 4.3. Are any other 4.3 PCBs going to work? I think that it's a safe assumption it absolutely will work. So I'm excited to see what XL cabinets come out in the future. Even if they don't make the cabinet you want, don't worry. If you've got a spare PCB laying around, I think you can work around it. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. Y'all have a blessed day, and I will see all of you next time.
Excellent.
Excellent indeed.